Rise and join us in the pledge.
Wow.
Oh, shoot.
In the city.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Moines County Board of Supervisors meeting, Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. Are there any changes to the tentative agenda?
I have none.
I know Rodney's busy. He's told me he didn't think if I make the meeting, he's gonna try to make the work session, but that,
Okay,
who knows?
okay. I'm sure.
Okay. Meet with department heads and elected officials. Colin Gerst, IT.
Good morning. Nothing really, different. This last week, just kind of keeping busy like always and, dealing with snow like everybody else this morning.
Sheriff Lynn Denning.
Good morning. Things are going well for us. Just busy like everyone else. Slow down, give yourself plenty of time if you have to travel. As the wind picks up tonight, the snow dries out, and we might have some visibility issues. I just recommend if you don't have to be out in it, don't go out in it. Stay at home if you can.
That's a really heavy snow.
Yeah,
That
right
is
now
just-
it's,
If you have a choice between shoveling it and snowboarding it or have somebody else, this is hardtack snow. It's really, really heavy.
I said the same thing to my in-laws and my mom this morning. Do not touch the snow, so. But I think it's supposed to dry out just a little bit and possibly begin to blow 30, 40 mile an hour winds tonight, so don't travel if you don't have to. Hopefully we don't see the amount of snow that they're talking, but remains to be seen. At the jail, we're at 89, 15 out of county. Just still working through the regular process of trying to find room in the residential facility, and we have quite a few on that list, so we'll continue to work through it.
Well, you're down below 90.
Yeah,
How many got out of county?
15.
Jared Lassiter, land use.
Morning. Nothing special to report today, just keeping busy as usual. We got a subdivision on the agenda, plus one other item, and we'll got another one up for your review, probably be on the agenda in a couple weeks. I don't have anything else to report.
Thank you. Janelle Allenquist, Moines County Treasurer.
Good morning. We're keeping busy. Got a good load of mail yesterday, so nothing new to report.
Sarah Doty, Moines County Auditor.
Good morning. It's payroll week, budget meetings still, so just keeping busy as usual.
Natalie Steffen, Moines County Recorder.
Good morning, just business as usual, nothing new to report.
We're a live bunch this morning.
I see that.
She's got her coffee.
So do I.
I am thankful for the 4-lane though, I will tell you that.
Yes.
That was nice, coming straight in on that, so.
The roads were actually a little more slippery than I thought they might be
Yeah.
for that much snow.
A little faster than the plows can keep up with, I think. It
Yeah.
just kind of comes down and gets driven on and kind of has that little bit of pack on there, and it is slick in areas. And it seems like, Brian's the expert on this, but it seems like what's hitting the base road is actually melting just a little bit and refreezing, and it's creating some slick conditions.
There's the man of the hour, Rodney Gleason, Maintenance Director.
Good morning. Been extremely busy this morning, but doesn't look like we've been doing anything.
I can tell.
Just one of those days, so. I would say if you can do any business there at the sheriff's office, just kind of be careful. I know with the Tiger Grant project, they kind of tore a little section from the curb. There's kind of like a rock section in between. It's really soft. It's kind of hard to clear out. We kind of dug some of it out trying to plow it off, so just kind of be mindful stepping across the sidewalk there. It may be even that way in a couple other businesses downtown here, I'm not sure, but that's kind of one of our spots there we're kind of struggling a little bit with, but trying to keep up. And then I have a work session today. Thank you.
Rodney. Brian Carter, Moines County Engineer.
Good morning. I think I'd echo everything that Kevin said. You do need to treat this more like ice than you do snow. It slushes up underneath, and then it's snowing so hard, it basically, it will handle just like ice. So, and I've always said that ice is kind of the great equalizer. It doesn't matter if you have four-wheel drive or not. You'll slide on ice just like you would anything else. So, I know people have to go some places. It's not realistic that everybody's a school-age child that gets school canceled or something like that. So you better allow for extra time, because even if there's no traffic, you just gotta take it easy, or you'll find some slush or something, and it'll pull you right to the ditch. So, and I think our roads look a lot like Rodney's describing. You can plow a road and in a half hour, you won't know we were there. I know just since I got to the office this morning and got the sidewalk scooped and everything, and then left for this board meeting, I think we'd had a couple inches already, because we had already cleared the parking lot area off. So, I'd say we're pushing 5 or 6 inches at this point, is my opinion. And, it sure doesn't show any signs of backing off, so I think Kevin's right. I think the evening and tomorrow morning might be the most interesting. It's gonna just depend on how much the snow dries out and how much of it is willing to move around. But with the wind they're talking, boy, if you're new to the country, you're gonna find out where the drift spots are, and it might be hard going. You know, everybody's gonna be going home from work today seeing roads, I think, fairly plowed. Although our gravel roads, it takes us a couple days to get through them, especially with this. It's the guys are gonna struggle all day, because it's such wet snow that you take the rock with it, and you can't stay out of the rock. I mean, you can, even if you got a rock driveway at home or something, you know this, even if you try to stay above it, that wet snow grabs that rock and just goes with it. So there's gonna be, it's gonna be a bad week to be a mail delivery person. As a great example, because those windrows of snow are gonna be wet, nasty, hard to get through, and they're gonna be whichever side of the road to avoid drifting or minimize drifting. And so it's gonna be a reminder. I don't know if we get some of what they're talking about Friday. I think there's some folks out there that might experience kind of a first real winter storm that I don't think we've had for 5 years plus, personally.
2015 is what it is.
2015, well, it's because right now they've got, depending on the forecast you look at, Friday, they're talking anywhere from 5 to 8 inches, and they're talking sustained 20-mile-per-hour wind.
Won't be much fun being married to a bus driver.
It won't be fun being married to a plow driver or a motor grader driver either. So, yeah, so I appreciate the guys, they're out. We start at 5 in the morning whenever a system like this comes through. We do not run all night. We don't have the manpower, and it takes all of our guys to cover the routes we have. So they've been out since 5, and they'll run until probably, give or take, dark. If it's still snowing and still going, mow graders, I'm guessing will for sure. We'll just play it by ear on the plow truck drives. We'll just see how long the snow goes, and then we'll do her all again tomorrow if we need to. So.
I want to back up the statements you made there. You said that you went out there to your office there, and I got the sidewalk cleaned. Did you actually do that yourself?
Yeah, I do that pretty regular. I mean, a lot of times I'm out early anyway, so.
Right, I didn't realize you worked that hard. Thank you.
Well, I'm there, and I
Once a year.
yeah, once a year, just to be able to say I did it. But no, I was there. I got there early, and so just get that wet stuff. I mean, you might as well get it off early, because it's so wet that you let it build up and it's that much heavier. I think we were talking about that. Colin was battling his, and I think we're all gonna go home to it being twice as thick as it was when we left if we don't quit snowing like it is. So it is what welcome to winter. It's January. It was bound to happen. But you really, really do have to be careful on the gravels. I mean, I texted Jim this weekend. I know we had, we only had, if you looked at it, just from driving by or something, we had about an inch and a half this weekend over 2 different little snows. But in the wheel tracks, it might as well have been ice. I mean, especially Sunday afternoon, it got up into the mid-30s, and it just polished right in those wheel tracks. I know we had, one tractor roll over this weekend in the ditch. That guy was doing chores and going down a hill and couldn't keep it under control. And I know there was a Wapello story about a side-by-side that rolled on its side, just up by the Wapello on a gravel road, and you just gotta, and then all this stuff's gonna turn out and freeze this weekend. They're talking 4 straight days of right around 0 degrees, so it's winter. This is the way it is. We just haven't had much of it lately, so.
We're spoiled.
But yeah, I think we have been spoiled, and I'm sure our phones at the office will show that for a little while, because, you know, there's a lot of people that moved out to the county in the last 5 years that don't know what it's gonna drift like in a real storm, so. But we'll be fine, and the guys will keep working, and we'll take it from there. So appreciate they'll be working long hours this week, and so that's all right, that's what we do.
Shane, are you online?
Says unverified.
I see that. Good.
He's there, but he's muted. He's gotta unmute.
He might be on his phone. If you're wondering where Supervisor McCampbell is, he was apparently rear-ended by a city vehicle and waiting on the police.
I'm here, Tommy.
You okay?
I'm about to pull into the alley. I finally broke away.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll be coming up, but I'm gonna leave my phone on, so if you need for a vote, go ahead and let's get it on.
Well, let's get all our business done before he
We-
gets here.
We can BS for another couple minutes while you get parked and up here.
Yeah.
Of course, we need you and SAR to do that, so I'm not sure how we'll approach that, but we'll figure it out.
Nice. Okay, the hits just keep coming, baby.
It's early.
All right, hey, well, just BS for a minute. I'll see you in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I was hoping Lisa might be here I'm anticipating a suit against the city of Burlington for loss of consortium. Since Shane isn't here. Our business associate, lost the use of his wit.
I guess I'll refresh a couple, since we're killing time. All it'd be better for Shane to be here for this, I guess, but maybe, he quit listening. This is the time of year where people start demanding that we run salt on gravel roads or sand on gravel roads, and I'll just issue the refresher that we don't and we never will. We keep a little bit around for a really kind of, I can think of a couple times. We keep some limestone type stuff around in case the emergency response gets a really bad spot where we need to try to help them out, kind of a thing. But as far as that goes, as regular, we don't run material. Last thing you want is salt melting down through what's already right now a soft gravel road underneath. You'll turn it into just a gigantic mess. Nor do we really have the money to go thinking about salting and sanding another 400 miles of road. The other issue is that it doesn't take a whole lot to stick a $250,000 dump truck on its side in the ditch on a gravel road. And at that point, you've just taken a truck out of the fleet from one of what you should be your priorities, which are your paved roads. So there's a number of reasons we don't do it. It's a question or a demand, I might say, every single year, and we just don't do it. It's not worth it's a risk reward thing to some extent. It's also a cost thing if you really want to get to the big picture. It's just not worth the gamble of rolling a truck on its side in the ditch. So I guess I mentioned that.
So I should quit asking.
Chris,
You can keep asking.
Chris Lee.
We're not gonna rock you.
No,
Oh. Chris Lee, Conservation. I think that's you on the computer, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, that is me. Can you hear me all right?
We can.
Okay, good. Not a lot, just kind of same as everybody. We're, the field guys are out there digging out and just trying to stay ahead of this. I'm actually at home working on some admin stuff, so we're just gonna keep on digging.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
You know, Brian texted me, told me that gravel road's gonna be slick,
Yeah.
and, I go about 3 miles on a blacktop road before I turn on the first gravel road. And I'm sure if he hadn't texted me and told me how slick them roads was. I'd probably run that down over the ditch. Turn on that, I only turned it going maybe 5 miles an hour, and just no traction.
Yep, like I said, especially in the middle where it was packed down, they got slick. So, we did go out, I would mention, we did go out because of that Monday morning, we set the blades out at 5, and we just went and roughed up hills and intersections and just tried to get some rock showing through. That's one of our other problems is we've had so many, little, keep my language clean, little, half-day, one-day rain events that over the course of December that you end up, all your rocks packed down, because every time you turn around, it got wet, got driven on, and then got dried, dried back out, or froze, for that matter. So there's not a lot of loose rock laying around there as it is, so I really look, the guys look forward to it actually freezing, because this is terrible to be running on gravel roads, so. Morning, Shane.
So,
Morning.
rear-ended by a city vehicle?
No, I couldn't get that lucky, but it was pretty close. Klinger and Associates.
Oh, Klinger.
Ow!
I thought you said it.
Owie! My ear hurts. I don't know how this is gonna work out, boys, but wow,
I
my
thought
toenail
it
was
was-
really sore.
A city vehicle and somebody remembered your term as mayor. I'm happy.
They've come at me, but I can easily get away from them. I see, pretty fast.
Well, it's good to see that you're okay. Anybody have any correspondence? We should proceed to discussion and vote. We have resolution 2024-004, approval of the Bottom View subdivision. I'll bet. Here.
Pretty
Who's gonna
simple
speak
one
to us
here.
on
It's
this?
a one lot subdivision down at the south end of the county. It's the bottomland area off the Skunk River. So basically, it's an existing house being split off from the surrounding farm ground. It's gonna be a transfer within the same family. With this lot that's being carved off. It's just over 3 acres, and it does have an easement, 33-foot access easement along an existing driveway. So it's on the other side of the railroad tracks there, accessed from 61, so that easement will ensure continued access for Lot 1 going forward. I didn't receive any significant comments. This is further than 2 miles from Burlington, so we just recommend approval as submitted.
Move to approve resolution 2024-004.
Second.
Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. We will get this signed after the meeting. Then we have resolution 2024-005, reappointment of Ryan McGrocky as Des Moines County, on the Des Moines County Zoning Commission. Whereas the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors approves appointments to the Des Moines County Zoning Commission, and whereas on February 4th, 2020, Ryan McGrocky was appointed to serve the remainder of the 5-year term that was vacated following the resignation of John Roth. And whereas the following expiration of that term on January 2nd, 2024, Mr. McGrocky has expressed interest in continuing to serve as a member of the Zoning Commission. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors hereby reappoints Ryan McGrocky, 7113 South Gear Avenue, to the Des Moines County Zoning Commission with a term to expire on January 2nd, 2029.
I motion to approve reappointment of Ryan DeGrocki to Des Moines County Zoning Commission.
Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes.
I definitely think he's been an asset to the commission. He actually took over as chair. There was a little thing in 2020 where there was that state code change about that affected the eligibility for who could serve on the board, and that impacted our chair at the time, Dick Keith. So Ryan had just started on the commission at the time, so we appreciate his willingness to take up that position at the time, and he's worked out well ever since, so glad he's interested in serving some more.
We have payroll reimbursement claims. I guess we don't have any. The sum
No,
is
there's
0, 0,
zero.
0. We have a personnel action, conservation, Tanner Grimm, conservation tech, a promotion from technician to operations supervisor. His previous rate was $49,120.74. The new rate is $52,439.84.
Motion to approve personnel action.
Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. And we have the recorder's report for fees collected December 2023. This report will be on file at the auditor's office and available for public review at your convenience. We have minutes for the regular meeting of January 2nd, 2024.
Move to approve the minutes for January 2nd, 2024.
Second.
Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. Any other business?
I have none.
Future agenda items. Committee reports.
I didn't have any.
I had one in town for life, but I can't remember what it is.
Don't
I'll
remember.
think about it.
Well, you just got out of an accident.
I'll think about it.
Yours probably still shaking up.
I'm shaking up. I'll think about it next week.
I have none. Public input. If anybody from the public would like to comment, you may email the Board of Supervisors at board@dmcounty.com. That's BOARD@dmcounty.com. You may call 319-753-8203, extension 4. That's 319-753-8203, extension 4. We'll give you 2 minutes to initiate that email or that call. In the meantime, is there anybody in attendance with any comments or questions? Complaints? Easy on the complaints. I saw your hand move.
I'll remind you, we do have a local bid opening on Thursday. I forgot to mention that earlier for the, what I'm gonna refer to as the ARPA bridges. So I think we've talked about enough.
Bid both that day.
They're both, well, they're bidding together, they're tied together.
Oh,
So,
okay.
That's how we decided to do it, to try to give a contractor some, hopefully, economy to scale. We'll see how that works out. So time will tell. We've had a few calls, questions and stuff, but they're pretty straightforward. So we'll see how that goes, and I know what that does budget-wise. I have my budget meeting tomorrow, but we'll really know a lot more Thursday. So we'll get that done. So at some point, we'll get onto the agenda with contracts and everything in the next week or two or something like that. But that is coming up Thursday.
Talk about early spring, start date on one of them.
One of them, actually, I'm gonna allow them work winter if they wanna get going.
Okay.
So they can't really start till we get contracts and we get all the kind of preliminary paperwork all signed. But one of them, I am open to it if they want winter work. So the one on Upper Flint. So, And I also, I guess since we've got the 2 minutes, I'll mention that those motor grader rebuilds that we're gonna do, they did contact us and all the parts are available now, are all ready, I should say, collected would be a better way to put it. So we're starting to have conversations in-house about possibly shipping one of those 2 on down there to start that rebuild process, so.
Where they do that at?
I'm gonna have to get that for you, cause actually I'm hoping to schedule a trip down there and maybe arrange to get all 3 of you to go down with me, so you can kinda see that place and the process and all that, but I can't tell you exactly where it's at. I knew once at a time, but I don't remember now.
I'm gonna assume since you're gonna take us, it's not Las Vegas.
I think that's safe to say. I'm
Okay.
thinking somewhere in northern Missouri, but I can't remember. So, I'll let you know.
Any other comments? Questions? 2 minutes up?
Yep.
With an aye, we're adjourned. Aye. We have a work session following in a few minutes with the busiest man in Moines County.
One of them.
Okay. Okay, we have a work session with maintenance regarding the health department and conservation buildings.
I just wanna touch base with you guys and start the conversation, really what we're gonna kinda do with, the old health department building. Been kinda working on the budget and, so if they get the new health department done, you know, look maybe late fall or early winter next year when they move in, we'll have the old health department building sitting there, so trying to get a plan and some direction, kinda, you know, kinda what we're gonna do with it, you know, look at reuses or, you know, whatever we're gonna do with it, but just really kinda get started on getting a plan, put together for that a little bit ahead, and also the conservation building. It sounded like, they might be moving out early spring, so, there's a building out there, what, you know, what we do with that or what we use that for, so.
Chris, have you got a timeline on moving that office? Is Chris still there?
Yeah. He's just muted. Unless he's stepping away, he might step away in a second.
There we go. I couldn't get the unmute button pushed. Yeah, the plan is to get moved out and operating in Stars Cave by about April. We may need a little more time than that to get kind of all the old file cabinets and stuff moved out of the old office, but we'd really like to be done before the busy park season starts up. So far we're on track for that. The only potential hurdle we may run into is the state technically owns Stars Cave, and it is, since we are building a new office in there, it's technically a capital improvement. So I've been trying to communicate with the state and just make sure that we've got their authorization to do a capital improvement in there. You can probably imagine how that's gone.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but so far we're on track. I really think we're gonna be in there operating by, our target is April, the way we have the timeline planned out. And so far we're actually running ahead of schedule. We've actually backed down the scope of renovations a little bit, so certainly by mid-spring, late spring, early summer, we're gonna be completely out of our current office.
Try to be out there by your birthday in May.
Yes. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
As far as the public health building, I think somebody spoke to Shane. Somebody reached out to Krista Pokemiller, public health director, and she referred to me that they were interested in the old public health building, and it was, well, they aren't. So I contacted them. They were curious if they could look at the building and talk to them a little bit. And when I got back to them and said, you know, that they could look at the building, they'd already bought one. It was a dental office of some sort, and so that apparently is not a thing anymore. And I know somebody, or you said at one time somebody reached out to you.
The lady that reached out to me is still interested.
Okay, so
I think we can move it.
Yeah, I mean, we really don't have to have an answer today, it's just kinda really start that conversation.
I'll
move
reach
it-
out there
keep
this
moving it a
afternoon,
little Forward a little more, because it'll be here before we know it, so it's just never good to let something kinda sit,
And
you know.
Krista, not to interrupt you before I forget,
So-
Krista said that if they would set up a time, you know, you go between or something like that, so if somebody wanted to walk through it and see what it looks like.
Okay.
She would give somebody a tour through that,
Okay.
at their convenience, so, sorry, Rodney.
No, that's okay, just trying to work on budget, trying to anticipate some of that stuff,
And
and kind of
Brian?
work some of that in, so we got,
Would you
you
ever
know,
use
little
that
coverage.
building out there next to you?
Rodney asked me about that. I'll talk to my staff in my office. I can't come up with anything right offhand. Everything we need is right there, right by our office. I mean,
There was talk, somebody talking about the emergency management, but I don't know if that's.
And I don't know, but I do know there's room out of Cottonwood.
I think that's where they were talking about last time. was-
Yeah, the last, recently,
The
there have been
most
some
recent
discussion of
talk
Cottonwood
was-
out there that they've got, you've got quite a bit of room out there that,
Yeah, I think there's about 5 offices out
Yeah.
there.
I mean, I will say that you can't dispose of it. It's gonna have to stay a county building. It's all linked into all that system out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would be a
yeah,
headache,
yeah.
but we'll kick it around, but right now, I don't know what I would use it for, I guess, right now. So,
Well, I mean, if it had to, sit for a little bit and we just had to, shut her down, so that,
Probably use it for storage.
I mean, that's once upon a time, I wanna say, actually, I think the county home was used, they used it for courts storage or for the county attorneys or something, I don't remember what it was, but there was storage. I don't
That
know
used to
if
be
that's-
their activity room over there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's needed anymore or not. for
Yeah,
evidence and
we
stuff.
used to have, some county attorneys' records stored in the old county home. Those are, there's a few of them that are at, Cottonwood Care Facility in the basement and a locked area and then an outside room, but, they've kind of whittled through some of that, kind of working like through COVID, and they had some time to go through a lot of records, they whittled some of that down, but, yeah, I mean, storage may be an option.
Yeah, get a cot out there too, for when Tom gets in trouble, he's got a place to be.
Yeah, there's a basement out at Cottonwood, I guess I didn't realize that.
Yeah, in the care facility, there's a basement.
Oh, in the care facility?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Crisis center, there's not.
Full basement?
Not a full, just a partial, yep, about a quarter maybe, not quite a quarter.
Yeah,
And then there's kind of a,
Make a backup plan if Mr. Brooker.
Get a cot out there for Thomas, you might need it.
so yeah, that thing just kinda kicking around, see what
Move,
options
move,
are.
uh,
Or, you know,
move
kinda
juvenile
having.
detention out there.
I was just gonna say, what about juvenile detention?
Move juvenile detention out there, and that clears us up down here in the basement for us.
Juvenile detention.
Downstairs on the
Oh,
first floor.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that.
It'd be out of town.
Well,
They do a lot of, I mean, not to
Yeah.
defend them or anything like that, but I know they do quite a bit of court and
It's-
people doing testing, or, bringing kids in, and I see them going up downstairs with the kids to do some testing, and a lot of China cases and different things. I don't know.
I spent some time trying to talk to the judges with the state about that. Courts use the space. They aren't very,
They're not real receptive.
they are not receptive to, anything like that. That's but there's this, I'll clean it up a little bit. But there's the story.
Clean up, Thomas.
There's the story of the, and they always talk about, needing this space or that space in the courthouse, how much the judges use. And we've had the discussion here. So a number of years ago, one particular county got into it hot and heavy with the judge and met with him 2 or 3 times. Finally, the judge or the chief judge said, "Come here." So got the chairman of the board of supervisors, whatever it is, walks outside the building and points at the building where it says blankety blank county courthouse. And he goes, "What does that say?" It says courthouse, doesn't it?
Well, all righty then.
He said this discussion's over.
Wow.
So anyway, Chris, you're wasting broadband.
Yeah, apparently the snow is weighing down the internet lines. I just lost my internet for a while and the power flickered here at the house, which will.
I've had a couple people say their power's been flickering
Okay.
around town.
So, yeah, I would guess it'd be a little tougher to move that than we would think. And I would, while we're in public health, I would still look, maybe next fall, late summer at the earliest, probably. Next fall before we'd be ready to move into that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while, just trying to plan ahead, get
Sure.
things in motion, and just trying to get ahead of the game, because time goes by so fast, get busy, and next thing it's here.
I'll get busy on the old health department though, I'll start getting busy on that.
And I spoke to Lisa and Trent both about whether we could discuss about renting that, whether we need to be in a closed session discussing real estate, and they said we didn't unless it got down to an offer, if somebody was gonna make an offer, or if we were discussing something like that. But if we're talking about maybe we should rent it, or I mean, that we've got somebody interested, that's we can talk about it, but any actual negotiations would have to go on in a closed session. So that's,
Well, the county's not gonna have any use for it that we see of right now. I think it'd be an advantage to everybody to put it back on the tax roll and get rid of it.
well, I agree. And I know Burlington sometimes, they'll go, if they've got a property, then they'll say, what do we wanna do with this? Do we wanna take bids from developers? And,
You might,
that works so. I'm not,
talk to Greater Burlington Partnership, see if they got any developer, anybody that's interested in maybe.
well, you could mention it to them, or we could mention it to them, and so, I'm not interested in getting a real estate business and giving them money. Hey, if you come develop it, we'll pay you. Okay.
If it's something we do wanna look at, maybe sell them at some point or whatever, we'll have to take a look at that, like where the dumpster's at and like where those vehicles park. I know GIS is not a perfect line, but kind of some of that is on that side. So we'll have to just keep in mind about the alley and kind of that little section and, you know, maintaining the alley and all that good stuff, so.
Yeah.
Just a few kind of minor things, and sometimes you don't think about, but, I just wanna just trying to think about, you know, scenario there, in case, if we do sell it and then there's somebody else there, so, working with our neighbors and how that would work out and what all we would need to do there, yeah. Once again, just wanted to bring it up, have
Okay.
discussion, maybe we can, this spring or whatever, we can hit it again, kind of see where everybody's at and see what kind of interest there is and what other plans we may have for the conservation building or what we can do different out there, so. I appreciate the time.
Okay, well, thank you, Rodney. I hope your day goes better than I think it's gonna go.
We'll be busy.
When he shows up like wearing that, well, you know, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, bud.
It looks like you were rolling around in it.
We've got 9 viewers.
Feels
I
like
mean,
it.
you gotta do what you gotta do.
It feels
Like
like.
human squeaky.
Right.
Yeah. Are you volunteering to come out and help me?
I'm really busy.
I'm
Lots
really
of
busy.